What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to do a walk around on my truck, and I'm going to do kind of a price accumulation so you guys can kind of see how much this build has cost. My truck is by no means anything crazy. It's a pretty mild build compared to what's out there now, but nonetheless it's still expensive to kind of have a hobby like this. I'm in both. I have, my truck now, I have my Focus. I've had cars in the past, and the car scene, it's easier to, I'd say it's cheaper to mod a car compared to a truck. The truck scene doesn't get enough kind of respect. People don't really know how much goes into a truck, how much things cost straight up. Like generally your wheel and tire setup is gonna be a lot more than in the car scene. Generally your suspension setup is gonna be a lot more. Your exhaust is gonna be a lot more. Kind of everything just, obviously bigger, kind of goes hand in hand, right? And, but the truck scene's not better. Let's be honest. I find the truck scene to be very, very toxic. You have basically your Chevy guys, your Ford guys, and your Dodge guys. I drive a Ford, doesn't mean I'm a Ford diehard. I prefer Ford, but I have really good things to say about the other brands that are out there. So I think it kind of comes down to preference. When you're in the car scene, there's a lot more respect shown towards, a guy has a Skyline or a Toyota Supra or, a Nissan or anything that's nostalgic, almost gets instant respect, where you see a guy driving around with an old lifted, old Ford OBS or, an older 24 valve Cummins, and people don't really know, how nostalgic those are, and there's not a lot of respect given. They just kind of like, oh, look at that old shitty truck, right? So I don't know. I'm in both scenes, and I think the car scene is just a lot more. There's obviously toxic people in both scenes, but I find the truck scene in general is way more toxic than the car scene. But besides the point, I'll still go over everything on my truck, and I'll kind of just show you how the truck scene is more money, and I think it does deserve a little respect because of that. People see a level truck and they assume he's got a level and tires on there, but there's a lot more that goes into it that you don't really see. And that you don't really notice unless you take a look under the hood or take a look under the truck. And I understand the price points on some of these mods, so I'll go over that right now. Alright, so for those of you who follow my Instagram page, Sidewalk Builds, you're obviously going to be familiar with this build already, and I'm sure a lot of you have kind of seen the progress from day one to now, so you have an idea of everything I've done to it. But we're still going to go over everything here for those of you that are new or don't follow the page. So there's my Focus in the background here. I'll take a quick peek at this. So I recently got wheels for it. A little dirty, but I went with the 1552 Tarmacs. This is what Ken Block runs on his Fiesta and the Gymkhana 4 and 5. I've just been a huge fan of everything Ken Block has done, so it was a no-brainer to kind of go with these wheels, and they just released these gold variants, so I don't think there's a lot of people out there running the gold variants, so it's at least a little bit different in those regards. But a lot of Focus guys do run these wheels. Anyway, these are my dogs. This is Casey. This is Luna. They might be a part of the video depending on how often they decide to walk in front of the camera. So I guess we'll start with all the kind of exterior stuff. I'll start from the front and I'll kind of work my way around the back. So I don't know if you can see that because the sun's pretty bright today. But here's my Raptor wannabe grill. So a lot of people ask where I got this grill from, and I got it from a company called X-Brite USA, and they don't seem to make this grill anymore. So I haven't seen anyone that sells a grill similar to this one. So I blacked out the amber markers there, so it's kind of more of a blacked out grill. I would like to color match it one day to make it look all proper, but with the magnetic gray, the black looks pretty good on it. So the matte black for now at least. So I got the Alpha Rex Pro Series headlights, which they're amazing. Like I got LEDs swapped into it, so I took out the halogen bulbs, and I don't think I've seen a bit of condensation in these headlights. They have been phenomenal, and I've been running them for almost 2 years now. So kudos to Alpha Rex for making a super solid headlight, and I definitely wouldn't recommend going with anyone else. The light pattern on them, the cutoff lines, like everything's really well done, And anyone that's familiar with, you already know that these have sequential turning lights. So in this top bar right here, it's all sequential. So you get an amber sequential when you have your turn signal or hazard lights on. And then going down to here. So you know what, I'll kind of do a start over again. So when I do the edit on this video, I'll put a price point beside every time I mention a part, so you guys kind of follow along with kind of how much everything's cost. So far we'll go with the grill, we got the headlights, and then next we'll move down to the fog light here. So these are just blacked out LED fog lights I got off Amazon. And this is my F150 LEDs bumper light, and these fit like a glove. So for those of you who know, F150 LEDs has been a huge sponsor for the build, and they have been great to deal with. I have nothing but good things to say about them and their sorry about that, the dog hit my phone out of my hand, as you may have saw there. So okay, so back to F150 LEDs, guys, they've been unreal to deal with, and I highly recommend their products. So I have another video kind of showing off these lights, but we'll go over kind of everything in detail in this video as well. So moving, I got my tow hooks. I just painted them red with red Plasti Dip. I might change them soon. Not sure if I'm digging the red as much as I used to anymore, but I'll keep it for now. Just in case anyone's wondering, what I did was, a lot of people are asking how you get these out. So I took my Dremel and I cut this bottom plastic out, which exposes that bolt right there. So I cut that square out, otherwise it's just kind of covered with plastic. This one piece there. So I took my Dremel, cut a little square out so I can get that bolt, and then the other bolt's right there. So you take that bolt off, and then these just these slide right out. So it's pretty easy to do once you cut a hole in that plastic. Otherwise, I don't know, I think people struggle to kind of to get them taken out. All right, so moving up here, we have our hood mounted LEDs, and those are from F150 LED as well. Those are their Spartan series, and these are super solid. Like, these are on there good. No cutting, no drilling required. There's a bolt underneath here that you just hook this bracket to, and then you run your wirings all really easy. And then this is my bolt antenna. This is from UPR, and once again, great guys to deal with. I got this from them, this bolt antenna, and then I also got this side badge, this FX4 one. So I'll go on a bit of a rant here in a second here. So there's my 5-liter V8 badge, just kind of placed underneath, just so people know. But once they hear the exhaust, I'm sure they kind of have an idea of what I'm driving anyways. So same on the other side. So here's my one little rant I'll go on. So before this truck, I had a 2013 F150 FX4 with the appearance package. So Ford used to have an actual FX4 pack, like a model, I guess. They had their Lariat, then they had their, I don't know if it was an XLT, but it was like an XTR, I believe, was their previous kind of chrome package. But now they've kind of bundled everything into an XLT, and I don't know, it kind of makes me mad because the XLT ranges from there's I would say probably close to 20 grand worth of options you can get, and I definitely have one of the higher trims. I know most people that buy the XLT end up getting the sport package, which comes with all the color match bumpers and all that stuff. It comes with the center shift, comes with that center shift console, and then you have other XLTs that have the bench seat all chrome, basically like a base package truck. And I'm not sure, I don't know, it's just kind of like when you tell people I have an XLT, they just assume it's like this base model truck, but it isn't, right? The XLT Sport, in my opinion, is a great package because not only is it affordable, I find that it holds its price. It holds its value really, really well because it's a nice looking truck, right? You got everything you need in the XLT Sport. You don't have all the bells and whistles like the Lariat or the Platinum where you have the leather seats, the heated seats. No, actually I do have heated seats, sorry. But like the massaging seats, the ambient lighting, the automatic running boards. But this is all stuff you can add in after. But the XLT Sport, in my opinion, is a great package just to start with. is a great platform to build on because it already looks good from factory. Whereas some of the XLTs that are chrome package with no center console, and those are more of a base model truck that shouldn't necessarily get bundled in with the rest of the XLTs in my opinion. So carrying on here, that was my kind of small rant there. We have Toxic Widow wheels. They're 20 by 10 with a -24 offset, and then I got 33 inch. I'm looking at getting 35s. I got 33 inch amp terrain attack tires, so they're 33 by 12.5, and I've had these for almost 2 years. They're getting a little bit low on tread here, but they've worn really good. They've worn really even, and I've rotated them, you know, every 20,000 kilometers, every 15,000 kilometers, which is, you know, I should be doing it more frequently, but I kind of put it off just because I'm kind of been busy with work and all that kind of stuff. So, but I mean, they've been a great tire. I have nothing bad to say. They got me through 2 winters, no problem. Yeah, they're soft rubber, but they don't wear very fast. I've had probably put about 70,000 kilometers on them. I'm not too sure what that translates to in miles. About 50,000 miles, I guess, something like that, but I could be off. And then I got my Rancho, my 3-inch Rancho suspension, which comes with a full strut. If you guys watched my previous videos, you can see kind of what's included in that, and then an upper control arm. Speaking of upper control arms, let's just jump into the garage here for a second. So I have new upper control arms that I will be putting on right away. These are from Grim Off-Road, and there's nothing wrong with the Rancho ones by any stretch. My brother's actually going to put them on his truck, but I got an opportunity to run these, and I'm going to give them a try and see how they are. So nothing bad to say about Rancho at all. It's not like they're shot or anything. I'm not trading up because they're broken or anything like that. It's just I had an opportunity to run them, and I'm gonna give them a try. So, and then let's see where else. So like I said, I'll be putting a price point on each of these once I edit the video. So I got the Rec Gin mesh mud flaps. I had them on the front, but I accidentally ripped them off when I was turning, so they're actually really nice mud flaps. I really like them. And then underneath here, I've got my rock light. I got one rock light. I should probably ideally have 2 or 3 under each wheel well, but these are actually extremely bright. These are from X-Brite USA, and these are actually really bright. They're RGB, and I got one under each wheel well. So I drill a hole, run the wire through the hole, and back to a relay block that's under the truck, so that the wires can reach all 4 wheel wells. And then kind of coming up top here, so this is my Retrax tonneau cover, which in my opinion this is the nicest tonneau cover on the market. And not only do they have like a very stealth look to them, like they're very flush with the top of the box, they have a lock and key, so you can lock it there, push this button, that handle flips up, and then it all rolls into there. So you lose a bit of box room, I'd say about 1 foot, but I don't put really much in my box. And then this is my black armor. You see right there, this is my bed mat. I haven't got around to doing a kind of a Line X yet. So this is like a hat. This mat is like, it's like 1/2 inch thick rubber, like solid rubber. So it's pretty heavy and it's super durable. So I'm not really worried. You can put anything you want on this and it's not ever gonna cut through or scratch the bottom of your. So I'm just gonna run that for now. And then kind of just the back here. So I got the Anzo taillights, which I'm not a huge fan of. They got a lot of condensation in it. I've had a lot of LED lights burn out on them. Not a fan of Anzo product, but there's not a lot of options out there for taillights, so I kind of pulled the trigger knowing what I was going into. This is my 3rd brake light. This is off eBay actually. This is it's a brand called VIP Moto, and I've actually been like very happy with that light. There's been no condensation buildup, and no LEDs have burned out. I've been running them for 2 years now, and overall I'm happy with that product. So then going underneath here, I got more LED lights from F150 LEDs. So these are like reverse lights, I guess, but I don't use them for reverse lights. I use them more. I have them on a toggle, and if someone's behind me with their brights on, I flash them, or if I need to pull some out of a ditch, I put them on. So I just have them on a toggle, and they're just good lights to have when you're hooking up a trailer at night or anything like that. Mostly I use it for when people are behind me and they're flashing and they have their brights on, and you can, you know, basically tell them to turn it off. So coming around to my exhaust here. My exhaust needs a bit of touch up. There's a lot of surface rust on it, but I'm running a MagnaFlow MF series exhaust with so there's my exhaust right there, and then it runs into a Speed Performance Y pipe with high flow cats, and it sounds menacing. It's a great sound. My last truck that I had I had a Flowmaster on it, and it sounded like super tinny and super clappy, but this exhaust just hits so perfect. And I do have an exhaust video, so you guys can go check that out. But I'm super happy with how this truck sounds, and I don't think I would ever change. I might change like the setup of my exhaust. I would really like to get a limited bumper, and I would like to do a dual out the back, kind of like the Dodge style. But that is it kind of for the exterior mods, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got everything, I'm pretty sure, on the exterior of the truck. I don't have a lot of interior stuff done. So right away, I got my SAT X4 tuner with custom tunes from ID Motorsports. These are my 3 toggle switches. So I basically just drilled holes into the plastic shroud here and then put my own buttons in that I got from a local hardware store. So this one controls my front LEDs, so my hood mounted LEDs and my bumper mounted LEDs, and then this one controls my rear, the rear lights that I showed you previously, and then these ones are for my rock lights underneath. So those what those 3 switches do. This is my bass knob. I'll show you that in a second. So that's my bass knob for my sub and amp setup, and other than that, I haven't really done anything to the interior. I work construction, so I have just seat covers on. Otherwise, I have the sport cloth underneath, but try to keep that protected as best as possible, just for resale purposes and whatever have you, right? These are like $20 at a local store, so they actually fit all right. They're not too bad. And then coming in the back here, so here's my Rockford Fosgate subwoofer setup. I also have a video showing kind of what to do to get this thing hooked up. And I had a lot of people saying, why don't you make a video kind of showing how loud it is? And I don't want to disappoint anyone or get anyone's hopes up when they hear it. I find it's really hard to capture in a video just how good a sound is. This thing's not going to shake your whole truck by any means, but it gives it a much needed boost in bass, and it actually pounds really, really good in the truck. It does. It sounds great, but when you're outside, you don't hear anything. So some of you like that. Some of you probably like, if you come from the car scene and you like having everyone in the neighborhood hear your subwoofer, then this one's not for you. But anyone that's looking for a huge bump in bass inside the cab, this thing is a must get. It's super affordable, and it works really well with it doesn't stick past the seat. I mean, I can probably push this in a little bit, see? So it sits flush with the seat. I think that's a perfect fit right there. So yeah, go to my other video, you guys, and I'll kind of show you. I'll do a walkthrough on how to install this. It's really easy. You basically just install this, you run your wires, and then there's a harness back here that you tap off onto, and then you got to use ForceScan just to enable. There's a factory harness here for the subwoofer hookup for like the upgraded package, and you need ForceScan because this harness will be it'll be in the ForceScan settings. It'll be set off right now, so basically you gotta go in your ForceScan and just turn that harness on, and you got to power it up, and that will power up the whole amp setup there. I'm sure any amp or sub hookup will work, but I went with that one just because of this look, and it does sound great. So I don't think I'll be upgrading that anytime soon. It was supposed to be just a temporary means, but I really like it, so I'll probably stay like that. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone down for a second here and just pop the hood open. All right, I had to put my camera down and get the hood open here. So I don't know, I don't have really anything going on, a lot going on here, other than your basic bolt-ons. So UPR catch can here, which is I think a must for anyone with these 5-liter engines, the newer ones that are direct injected. Even you EcoBoost guys, you should be running a catch can to prevent all the blow-by that's going into your engine. And you should do more research on these if you don't know about them, because they are a must. So shout out to UPR for hooking it up. And then my PMAS cold air intake with my AFE snorkel. So this utilizes the stock bottom of the intake from factory, and then I replace the factory snorkel with this AFE aftermarket snorkel, just to kind of give it a little bit of a better overall look. And then otherwise, I don't have too much going on in the engine bay. And then shout out to Donut Media. Here's your 3 million subscriber sticker. I'm a huge fan of those guys, so I'm sure you guys are all aware of who they are. I shouldn't have to tell you to go check them out, because I'm sure you know. But yeah, that's basically it for showing you guys everything. The only thing I can think of that I maybe missed was I do have ambient lighting. I don't have my keys in here, unfortunately. So I do have ambient lighting under here. You can see it right there. I just bought LED strips and put them under. I got them under the front, and I got them under here. I don't know if you can see them from there, but so they light up the back. They light up the back area there. So these were, I don't know, like $50 online, these LED strips, and they work great. I've had them for 2 years, and they really, like, it gives them it's a stealth look. Like, they're all tucked up underneath there. You wouldn't even know that they're like a sort of an aftermarket add-on. Like, they look factory. If anyone goes on my Instagram, you can see the pictures, and it looks really good. You can adjust the, they're RGB, so you can adjust the brightness, you can change the color and all that kind of good stuff. So other than that, I don't know if I showed you my rear shocks here. These are my Rancho shocks, so I gotta do some touch up on these. These are starting to get rock dinged up, and I got some surface rust happening on them. So I will get this boot straightened out here. There you go. I will get all of that cleaned up, but otherwise, I think that's it. So and no wheel spacers, that's just the -24 offset. I think it's a solid look. No cutting, no trimming, nothing of that sort. Good 3-inch lift, and then 33s. So I barely rub in reverse. So I mean, it's a fine setup just to do as a daily. You're not gonna have any issues. I do a lot of highway driving, so not a lot of city, but I can do like U-turns no problem with this thing full crank, and nothing rubs. So I know a lot of guys run a wider offset, and then you're stuck cutting your crash bars, which I'm not a fan of doing. What I found is there is a little bit of extra play in here. So if anyone that is rubbing on your crash bar, take a 5-pound hammer and hit these things back. And there actually is a bit of play where you can move this thing probably a good 1/4 inch rather than trying to cut them. So maybe try hitting with a hammer first before going on and cutting them. But I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it. Even when I run 35s, I'll probably just soak it and have them rub a little bit, because I don't know, for insurance purposes, if you get in an accident, these are cut, you might be in a little bit of trouble. So I don't think it's worth it, in my opinion. Okay, I just counted everything up. So after tallying all the price points along the way in the video, the final price comes down to $11,500. Now, that's not necessarily what I spent, and that's not necessarily what you're going to spend, right? You can get discount sales, but this is just kind of the set point on most websites, or it was the price at the time when I got the part. So the price may vary. You know, some parts may be worth more than they are now, right? When I got the Alpha X headlights, it's right when they came out, and I believe they were cheaper 2 years ago than they are now because they've gotten bigger over time, right? So some of those prices may vary, but it just gives you an idea of how much the build itself costed. And like I said, it's a mild build, right? My build's nothing too crazy, right? Like I like it, I'm proud of it, but there's guys that spend 11 grand on wheel, tire, and suspension setup alone, right? So there's some wild builds out there, and it kind of goes to the whole, like, back to my original post where like 12 grand, US for my Focus ST. The things I can do with that kind of money, that car would look amazing, it would be amazing. You'd get like that attention where people are like, wow, that's a crazy ass build, right? But 12 grand into a truck doesn't really get you that as far as you think it would, right? Where there's nothing, my truck's pretty basic in terms of like the leveling kit and the tires and the wheels, and it's a pretty basic looking truck at the end of the day. But that kind of goes back to my point where I know what I have in it. So yeah, so I hope you guys liked the video. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. And if you guys want shirts like this, go check out 50nation.com. I just released a bunch of hoodies, a bunch of shirts, and I'll leave a discount code in the description so you guys can go grab some merch at a discount. So I appreciate you for watching. Please subscribe. Please give me a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.